Okay, I think we're live. Good evening, everybody. I hope this works. It's just a bit of nonsense for my friends in these days. For my American friends, I'm quite sure my British friends probably think I've already lost my mind. But anyway, so for this special British nonsense occasion, I did put on the only English British looking thing I have in my possession, which is an apron. I can't explain it. The other dilemma I've discovered is that we have, when you do Facebook Live, all the words come out backwards. That's not very convenient, is it? So anyway, so I'm gonna sort of do this. Let's see if it works. There we go. British nonsense part 1. Whoops. Here we go. So topics of the day: beans on toast, a poem by A.A. Milne, English pronunciation, losing the plot, and jelly and ice cream. Yes, we've already had. There we go. We've already had a bunch of suggestions for additional episodes. We'll see. Okay, so number 1, beans on toast. Okay, very important topic, beans on toast, especially in these days, because you know, when you're stuck at home and you are not sure what to eat for dinner. When I was growing up, so this is a disclaimer. A lot of this is when I was growing up in England, and I'm old now, and I've been here for 22 years. So I'm hoping I even still sound British, which I may or may not most of the time. Anyway, when you're in England and you can't think of what to eat for dinner or breakfast or lunch or frankly any other time, and just thanks to everyone who's already watching. I think this is kind of funny. Hi Mel. I've lost the plot. That'll be later. Okay, so anyway, you're hungry and you're in England and you've got a can of beans and some bread and preferably some butter and a stove or a microwave or an oven, I should say an oven or a microwave and a toaster. So this is what you do. The important thing here is that you need to have the right kind of beans. So I found a picture of beans on the interwebs. And the only thing with this can of, so here's the deal. It has to be Heinz beans. And I know this is back to front. But I realized after I printed this out that this is not how it used to look. Things have changed in my absence. And it should say Heinz oven baked beans, not Boston baked beans, Mel, no. Heinz oven baked beans, and my sister is watching, so she'll vouch for me. Hey Cindy. And so it should say Heinz oven baked beans in tomato sauce. So these are the kinds of beans that are necessary for beans on toast. So you get your beans, you open the can, you put them on the oven in a pan, or if you wanted to, you could put them in the microwave, and then you make your toast. I recommend a kind of plain toast. Yes, Publix do sell them. You can get these over on this side of the pond. And beans means Heinz, that's right. So you put the toast in the toaster. I recommend not too flavorful a toast. I think just, you know, just kind of not too flavorful toast, like fairly plain, brown, white, whatever. Yes, you do need a toast rack, Lois. Thanks for that reminder. So it's important when you take the toast out of the toaster, you put it in the toast rack. I don't have one, but it's kind of a rack that holds the toast upright so it can cool a little bit. Not Bush's baked beans. Good Lord, no! Travesty! So you get the toast rack and you put the toast in because you want it to cool down a little bit. And the cooling down is a really critical point in the recipe because you don't, when you put the butter on, and I say you, I mean me, I don't like my butter to completely melt on my toast. I like the butter to just sort of slightly soften but not completely melt. So anyway, you do that, you've got your toast, you toasted your toast, you cooled it a little bit in the rack, you've put the butter on it, you've heated the beans, and then you put the beans on the toast. It's genius. It's an all-round nourishing meal and you would thoroughly enjoy it. I think, anyway. There are other things you can spruce it up with, and you can do, the rack becomes a toast mausoleum. That's sad. So yes, must be Heinz. They do have sugar in them. You can get the non-sugar version. Andrew's going to tell me all the things I'm saying wrong, but that's fine. So, that's beans on toast. That's item number 1 on our British nonsense. So I recommend it. Go find some, or you can probably order them online. You don't put brown sauce with beans on toast. Somebody's suggesting that. Horror. No, just like this as it is. Perfectly fine. Juicy enough. There's juice on the beans already, see? And very nourishing. And there's protein. Beans, protein, healthy, lovely, carbolicious, yes. All right, so that's beans on toast. Okay, 1 second. So the next topic, which is back to fork, I know. Yes, with a fork. I don't recommend picking up the beans on toast. That would be really bad. Because it would go everywhere. It would kind of fall upside down and stuff. So that's beans on toast. Let me know if you try it. I like it. It's pretty good. You can put bacon on it. You can put eggs on it. You can put cheese on it. You can do all kinds of things with it. But it's a basic staple food and it's good. All right, item number 2 on our agenda. I'm trying to make this like 5 minutes and we're already going to go over, I think. Item number 2 is a poem. Now, I have to say that I don't really consider myself a poem reader, but I'm going to try, all for the cause. All for the cause. Keep calm, carry on, read poetry. Maybe. I don't know. So here we go. So this is... No, we're not going to talk about the beans after effect. Thank you, Andrew. Good gracious. It's like having the naughty children at the back of the classroom. I'm having my teacher mode again. All right. So somebody suggested some A.A. Milne poems. So I found some A.A. Milne poems. Thank you, Alison, who sent some to me. But I found one that I kind of like, and I think it's appropriate for these days. So A.A. Milne was the author of the Winnie the Pooh stories, for those that don't know. And this is a poem called Us Two. Here we go. Wherever I am, there's always Pooh. There's always Pooh and me. Whatever I do, he wants to do. Where are you going today, says Pooh. Well, that's very odd, 'cause I was too. Let's go together, says Pooh, says he. Let's go together, says Pooh. What's twice 11, I said to Pooh. Twice what, said Pooh to me. I think it ought to be 22. Just what I think myself, said Pooh. It wasn't an easy sum to do, but that's what it is, said Pooh, said he. That's what it is, said Pooh. Let's look for dragons, I said to Pooh. Yes, let's, said Pooh to me. We crossed the river and found a few. Yes, those are dragons all right, said Pooh. As soon as I saw their beaks, I knew. That's what they are, said Pooh, said he. That's what they are, said Pooh. Let's frighten the dragons, I said to Pooh. That's right, said Pooh to me. I'm not afraid, I said to Pooh, and I held his paw and I shouted, shoo! Silly old dragons, and off they flew. I wasn't afraid, said Pooh, said he. I'm never afraid with you. So wherever I am, there's always Pooh. There's always Pooh and me. What would I do, I said to Pooh, if it wasn't for you, said Pooh. And Pooh said true. It isn't much fun for one, but two can stick together, says Pooh, says he. That's how it is, says Pooh. A.A. Milne. Us two. Good for these days, I think. And even if we are one in our house, we can be 2 and more on the interwebs. Isn't that lovely? I like that. So that was number 2. Number 3, English pronunciation. I'm going to have to flip the camera around for this because that won't work, will it? There are many words that have come up since I have been living over this side of the pond, which have caused consternation and concern. My arm isn't long enough for this. I'm sure there are technical things to do. So one of the words that comes up as confusing is aluminium. Aluminium. So over this side of the pond, you've lost an I, and that's why it gets confusing. So you're ready. So it's A-L-L, U, min, N-I-M, min, and this is where it gets confusing, ium. Aluminium. Say it after me. Aluminium. Okay, does that work? Hang on a minute. So aluminium, back to front now. Just, you know, for aluminium foil, of course, and other things, geologists, I'm sure, and people need to know how to pronounce this word. But no, this is how we spell it in England. You lost the I. I've just given it back. You're welcome. Okay, that was number 3. What's number 4? Aha! Losing the plot. I don't know if John Wesley ever lost the plot, but I thought I'd bring him along just in case. It's hard to keep up with the comments, and I really love them, but I can't read them all. I can't, but anyway, we'll get there. So, losing the plot. Okay, so back in 2016, this is a suggestion from my fellow member of the Order of Deaconess Home Missioner, Irene. And so Irene said, you have to tell them about losing the plot. So this is what happened, losing the plot. So we were at General Conference 2016, and we were in a room, in a meeting, having deep conversations, and we were trying to plan things and all that good stuff. And my other fellow Deaconess Home Missioner, Kevin, lovely Kevin, he was explaining some things, and it was getting a little complicated, and I said, Kevin, I do believe you have lost the plot. And people looked at me a little strangely and said, what do you mean, lost the plot? So apparently that was a thing you don't say. So, lost the plot, in my interpretation, and others may disagree, but if you can imagine you're on an actual road and you're following a map. It's like you're following a map and you lose the map. You kind of get lost off the side of the road. Except instead of an actual physical journey that you're taking, it's actually a sort of mental explanatory journey that you're taking. So you're taking people on a journey, like I am right now, and then if I were to start sort of talking about, I don't know, baked beans, then I would have lost the plot of this particular journey of conversation. Does that make sense? So losing the plot, excellent addition to your vocabulary. If somebody is explaining something to you and it just gets confusing and you're not quite sure where they are anymore or where they're going or what they're trying to explain, you could say, I do believe you've lost the plot. And they'll say, you're right. Let me try and explain that again. So that's it, lost the plot, losing the plot. And it's a useful thing to say now and again, I think. All right, one might say that there are certain segments of our current governing institution who have lost the plot, but we're not going to talk politics right now. All right, so number 5, jelly and ice cream. Jelly and ice cream. Okay, so this was from Liz in Raleigh and the kids there. And so jelly and ice cream. So in England, when I was little and I was growing up, there was things that you always had if you went to a birthday party. And one of the things that you always had when you went to a birthday party for pudding, and pudding is like dessert. Pudding is not your kind of pudding. Your kind of pudding we call instant whip or angel delight. And that's another whole topic. I just added another topic. You just got number 6 for free. Pudding is not your kind of pudding. It's dessert. So for dessert at a birthday party, you might have Christmas cake. You see, Christmas cake, a perfect example of me losing the plot. I just lost the plot right there, live on Facebook. I lost the plot. Okay, so not Christmas cake, birthday cake. Birthday cake. So, you're at a birthday party and you're little and you're in England and you're going to have pudding, which is dessert, and you're going to have birthday cake, but you also will almost always have jelly and ice cream. Can you see that? It's about the best one I could get off the internet. So it's like jelly, which you call jello. It is not jam. Okay? It's not jam, it's jello, which we call jelly. And then you just have ice cream with it. And it's delicious. It's really fabulous. And you can also put on it, you could have it with evaporated milk. Thank you, Emma. Yes, you could. Good point. I'm being fact checked by my British friends. And Andrew's never had jelly and ice cream, and I'm sorry to hear that. But anyway, it's not jam, okay? Jam is like what you put on toast. You spread jam on toast. This is jelly, Jello, and you have ice cream. And if you're being fancy, you could have hundreds and thousands on it, which I was thinking, I meant to look this up earlier, but I think hundreds and thousands is what we call sprinkles. Rainbow sprinkles? You can put that on top of it if you're fancy. And if you're being really fancy, you could put fruit cocktail inside the jelly when you make it. So when you mix it up, that's Bella in the background, by the way. She's chewing a stick. When you put fruit in it, you can make it fancier. So you can put like fruit cocktail in the jelly and ice cream. You could have evaporated milk with it, it's true. And you could have hundreds and thousands over it to make it look pretty too. But standard dessert for children's birthday parties in England and other parts of the United Kingdom. So there you go, you should try it. I think I made it for some friends once, but I can't remember. I have a bad memory. I know I've tried to convince people in the past it's good food. It may not be, you know, very good, but it's good. When my very first trip to England, Cindy Thomas, if you're still here, you'll recall that there was jelly in the salad over here. Very peculiar for a British person, see, a British person, first time in America at a sort of potlucky type thing. And there was green Jello, in a salad. It was very odd, but anyway, it didn't put me off. 22 years, no, actually that was over 30 years ago. Anyway, so that's jelly and ice cream. I think that's all I have for you right now, friends. I hope it was fun. It was kind of fun doing that. So I've already got some topics. I'm not sure I'll maybe do it tomorrow, but I can see questions are coming up. It was pistachio salad, according to Cindy's mum, that had the Jello in it. Yes, Ramona. I think it might be, maybe so, but it was definitely green. I remember that much. All right, so we have topics for the next episode, Bubble and Squeak. We're going to talk about flakes and ice cream and other things. I've seen a whole bunch of other suggestions looping through on the comments, which I can't keep up with. But anyway, I just wanted to share some nonsense with you in these days, which are full of lots of seriousness. And there are serious things that we need to be about. And one of the things is we need to be staying physically distant from one another, but socially connected to one another. So hopefully this little bit of fun social connection, and I'll probably try and do it again sometime next week or over the weekend or whatever else. Add your questions in the comments or put it on Facebook for me, and I'll come up with some other nonsense for next week. Much love to everybody. Keep calm, carry on, stay distant, wash your hands, do all the things, love each other. See you again. Oh, cheerio. Cheerio. Cheerio.